We just heard the whole track, the whole mixdown of the track. Now let's just break it down into 4 parts and let's see what went into making these tracks. Well, the first part is the groove. That's right, let's take a look at it. The groove is like sort of, you say, the basis of the whole track. It just keeps the track together, lifts it up, and when the groove is not there or if it's not tight enough, a person just doesn't get a feel of the track. Especially, like I said, in electronic dance music, that's what we are going to be making right now. The groove is one of the most important aspects. I feel that the groove is even more important than the melody. For me, as a DJ, the groove and the bass line are the most important. We heard the whole track, with all the melodies and the bass line and everything. What we are going to be doing in this section now is let's take a listen just to the groove section of the track. So let's listen to it for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then after that let's break it down to see what elements go into making a nice deep house groove for a track. Well, according to me, I think the groove is sounding really nice and tight, and I'm not just saying it because I made it, but let's take a look at what goes into making it. The first thing, I think for a DJ or any music producer, any music director, anybody, the kick forms the most important part of the groove. That's the thing which gives you that punch. Even if you're playing a track on the dance floor, if you have a nice tight kick, it can actually get you grooving and going. So let's listen to the kick that we've used over here. Always remember one thing, whenever you're making a track, identify the genre of the track which you're making, know where you want to go with it, and then accordingly the samples which you use in it, just make sure that you're taking the samples from that particular sample library. Right now we know that we are making a deep house track, so for the deep house track I have a deep house folder which has already been made. I did some homework just before we start doing any track, not only right now but even for my remixes. Make sure that you do your separations and your sorting. So from my deep house folder I've just taken a kick. Let's listen to the kick again. Remember one thing, very very important, that if you want to make a kick really nice and tight, of course the kick sound and the sample will be already slightly processed, but to give it that one cutting edge, just put a slight bit of a compressor on it. What is a compressor? We'll get into that a little later in other episodes. So when the kick is grooving now, I need to add one more element to it. I think being a DJ, normally the clap is the next thing that I like to select. So let's listen to a clap. That's right, this clap is really nice, very very crisp, got those high-end frequencies which I'm looking for in my groove, and I've added a slight reverb to it so it just sort of expands, becomes slightly wider. Let's listen to the kick and the clap together now. That's right, you're looking good. The next element in the track. According to me, after I've selected my kick and my clap, what I go into next is the hi-hats. So let's listen to the hats that we've used in this track. I'll solo them at the beginning and then we'll listen to the whole groove, the clap, the kick and the hats together. So let's just listen to the hats now. Once again, you have to remember that when you're making a groove, all the frequencies should be nicely touched. Your low ends, your mid frequencies, your highs, everything. So the kick gives you that low end, the claps give you a mid and a high end, and the hi-hats just give you that one high end which just gets you going and gets the rhythm on the kick which is being played. So let's listen to the kick, the hi-hat and the clap together. I hope you can actually feel it, that when you're listening to the kick at the solo, the clap in solo, the hi-hat in solo, and then after that listening to all of them together, it just gives a totally different feel, just like this. Well, I'm still finding the groove slightly more empty. So after the kick, the clap and the hi-hat, I think percussions is something which, will take your groove to a level which is going to be, wow, I'm really enjoying this. So let's add a few perks. Well, just to let you know, most of the DJs and producers never say percussion as a whole. We just call them perks, something short form to just, speak quickly and not to type too many words over there. So let's listen to the perk which we've used the first time. I know what you must be thinking. It sounds slightly like the clap, right? Well, it's like the clap, but it's not a clap. This is called a percussion. Well, what I've done is that because I've given a reverb and a high end to my clap, I needed something in the mid frequency level. So this percussion just actually gives me that mid frequency feel. So now my highs are taken care of by the claps and the hi-hats. My low ends are taken care of by my kick. And this first percussion that I just made you listen to right now takes care of the mid frequencies in my groove. Let's listen to the percussion, hi-hats, claps and the kick all together now. Can you actually feel your groove just being built and just getting up there? I still feel that we are missing maybe one more element, something to make this groove slightly different, because these are the elements which are always there in every track and every groove that you listen to. But I want to put maybe one more percussion to give it that dark edge, that will make it a little bit like, wow, this is a deep tech house track. Well, I found one perk over here. Let's listen to it. Let me tell you something about this percussion. When I heard it the first time, it had a lot of high frequencies in it. So what I just did is, I put an equalizer on the track and just absolutely cut out all the high frequencies. Again, like I said, I wanted just that mid frequency. This perk also had a slight bit of low ends over there. But my kick is already taking care of my low ends and I don't want those frequencies to clash. Everything has to be heard properly. So I cut out the lows, and after doing this little bit of processing, this is what the perk sounds like. Now, let's listen to our full groove all together. Can you actually feel it? That every sound has a place of its own and every sound is being heard properly. No matter what you do, whenever you make a groove, whenever you make a track, don't just keep on filling your track with too many sounds and just because, oh my god, my groove just can't be 5 tracks, it has to be more than that. It's not the number of tracks which you use in the track to make your groove or to make your track, for as a matter of fact. It's just that everything has to have a place of its own. Normally, whenever a track goes in for a mix and master, it could be any international track, the mixing engineer, the mastering engineer normally remove more than 40% of the sounds which you have already put and given to them. Because they know that if you put too many sounds, everything just clashes and it becomes noise. So this groove is a very, very simple deep house groove. All it involves is a kick, a clap, the hi-hat and 2 percussions. 5 elements, and look how it's sounding. Well, go ahead, open up Ableton Live at your place, make a groove like this.